Homer Simpson once said, "We are especially grateful for nuclear power because it's the cleanest, safest energy source there is. Except for solar, which is just a pipe dream." Now, he may just be a fictional character trying to get some laughs, but there is some truth to what he said. Nuclear power is a very controversial topic, and I hope to be able to debunk some of the myths that most people seem to believe. At this time, 20% of our nation's electricity is generated by nuclear power. And with fossil fuels rapidly depleting every year, there's a good chance that nuclear power will become the main energy source of our country in the not too distant future. For the last 8 years, I've become very familiar with nuclear power and the dangers that it involves. I was a nuclear reactor operator for the United States Navy. Basically, that means I had Homer Simpson's job, except I was much better at it. Nuclear power really is the safest and most reliable form of energy available. I'm going to describe to you the process by which nuclear power is generated, and also the energy capabilities and some safety comparisons that are involved with coal and nuclear plants. The generation of nuclear power, although technical in nature, is actually a very simple process. It's called fission. In fission, a nucleus of an unstable atom is bombarded with neutrons. As those neutrons collide with the nucleus splits and releases subatomic particles such as protons, electrons, and neutrons. It also releases energy in the form of heat. The neutrons that are released go on to collide with more nuclei and create more energy. This energy is absorbed by a moderator. A moderator is a liquid that surrounds the nuclear fuel and transports the heat to the different parts of the nuclear cycle. The moderator transports the heat to another container called a steam generator. This steam generator has a series of tubes inside of it that the moderator flows through. These tubes on the outside are surrounded by water. This water is heated by the moderator flowing through the tubes and eventually boils, which creates steam. This steam is then transferred to a turbine. As the steam flows over the turbine spins, creating electricity. This is the basic nuclear cycle. Now that you know the basics, we can talk a little bit about the benefits. Nuclear reactors can produce more energy with less material and less money than what our major provider can. The basic energy fact is that fission can produce 10 million times the combustion of the same amount of carbon from coal. For example, 1 kilogram of coal can power a 60-watt light bulb for 4 days. The same amount of nuclear fuel can power that same light bulb for 685 years. As for the cost, in 2007, nuclear generated electricity cost 1.7 cents per kilowatt hour. That's compared to 2.4 for coal, 6.7 for natural gas, and 10.2 for oil. Now that we've described how nuclear power is more efficient, how does it compare in regards to safety? Nuclear power is much safer than coal. Dixie Lee Ray, former governor of Washington State, once said, "Nuclear power is infinitely safer than eating because over 300 people choke to death every year on food." In 2010, a Clean Air Study Task Force determined that more than 13,000 premature deaths, more than 20,000 heart attacks, and over 1.6 million workdays lost in the U.S. every year was due to coal plant air pollution. At the same time, the air pollution produced from a nuclear power plant resulted in absolutely no deaths because it was non-existent. According to Forbes' website, the average global death per TWR for coal is 170,000 people. The average global deaths for nuclear power, 90. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I have left you with a better understanding of the process by which nuclear power is generated, its ability to outperform coal, and made you feel a little more comfortable with the idea of nuclear energy as a serious major power source of the future. Once upon a time, wind was considered the power source of the future. That was, of course, in 17th century BC, and they still haven't found a way to make it solve our energy needs. In all seriousness, nuclear power can be a real contributor to the future of our energy. To wrap this all up, nuclear power is not scary. It's reliable, and it's safe. Thank you.